I missed everyone because it's been the holiday season. We had 2 crammed shipping days, 2 weeks in a row because holidays, and then as soon as the holiday's over, everyone's backed up, and that's when the season really starts in our industry because people get their new tanks or bigger tanks over the Christmas period, but they don't generally start putting in fish in their tanks until obviously they've got their new tanks, or they've traveled, they're not gonna put in fish into their tanks before they travel. So our season starts in January, February, March. That's when we're really busy. So this is coming to you just before the 19th of January, which is Martin Luther King Day, but also it's Archer Day. I don't know how the people in the archery hobby got a national holiday named for their little sport, but obviously they have a lot of pull. I'm going to today talk about archer fish. Archer fish are a neat, very predatory fish in our hobby that is actually quite common to find online and in a few specialized aquarium stores. This is the kind of fish you're never gonna see in Petco or PetSmart, so don't waste your time. But it's a beautiful little creature to put in your tank, but you gotta remember it's gonna grow to, we're gonna show 2 of them today, the 2 most common found in the pet stores. The banded archerfish will grow about 8 inches. The clouded or Burmese golden archerfish will grow to about 6 inches, maybe 5 inches in the fish tank. So with that in mind, they will eat smaller fish because they are predators, so you just gotta make sure you have them with 3-inch or more fish, and they'll all grow up fine together. They also eat the same food. They're omnivorous. They'll eat food from the top of the tank. You don't need to put anything special. They don't have to give them live flies that they can grab, which actually would be a really cool idea if you have a nice screen on your tank. That's something you could do. You can't do that with any other fish. Well, you could. A lot of them jump and they'll get flies, but archerfish in particular adapt at it. Let's talk about the banded archerfish. The banded archerfish is mainly found in mangrove swamps around couple in Australia, but mainly when they're harvested, they're grabbed in the Philippines, fished in the Philippines we call it, and fished in Indonesia. They're very common actually, so there's no issues in bringing these guys in from the wild, and they are wild caught, into the aquarium trade. And if there is, then they'd stop production and let them breed up again. Believe it or not, it's a very regulated trade. People confuse that with saltwater. Saltwater, there's still a lot of people doing crazy things around the coral reefs for their fish, and like currently, for instance, yellow tank cannot be caught around Hawaii until the population grows back. So that does happen. In the freshwater, it doesn't. The opposite happens. We preserve the rainforest areas so species like this can thrive, and when there are issues, then the responsible authority, and there's a different name for them in every country. I think we talked about the lady that ran it in Colombia a couple episodes back. In Indonesia, they have the same thing. In the Philippines, they have the same thing. Then they restrict the species and let it grow back. But remember, without some local fishing economy, these guys are going to find something else to do with that area to make a living. There's a lot of people in the world. So we hobbyists in the freshwater business help preserve the tropical jungles because we give these guys an opportunity to make a living in an area that actually forces them to sustain the area so they can keep making a living. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted because I always want to hammer that point. But the banded archerfish are interesting because they can live in brackish water, they can live in salt water for a short time, but most of the time they spend their lives in freshwater. They breed in freshwater. It's possible to breed these guys in the tanks. I haven't heard of anyone ever breeding a clouded archerfish, but the banded archerfish can be bred in fish tanks, very rare. So you're a really good hobbyist if you can accomplish that task. I'd love to hear about any story about that. We'll put it on the site. So these guys are small. It's typical that you get 2-inch to 3-inch for the aquarium trade. And they do acclimate well to the fish tank. We've had these little guys for about maybe a month. I brought in quite a few. I'm down to my last maybe dozen in the fish tank. We've been feeding them a mixture of frozen bloodworms and flake food on the top. And they've learned to nibble at the flake food. But I think mainly they've been sustaining themselves on the frozen bloodworms. We haven't been able to give them any little crickets or anything unless one accidentally fell in there and we didn't see it. We do have fun with these. I put a little Post-it note sticker with a little squiggly ink on there. I threw these guys in here. They're still shell-shocked from the transfer, but when they're hungry and they're acclimated to the tank, they'll actually see that little thing and start spitting at it, hoping it's a bug that'll drop into the water. In the wild, archerfish spit up to 6 feet long, and it'll hit the bug, knock it into the water, and then they'll eat it. So they tend to swim around in little packs on the top of the surface of the water, so that when they spit at something, they'll spit as a group, so that one of them might be able to hit that bug and drop down, and they all go crazy eating it. So the archerfish is a really fun little creature to have in the tank to see if you can get that predatory behavior out of them. And we do. We put a little mark on the side, and you'll see little spit things on the side. And when we walk along the tank, not now because we only have a dozen, but we have a whole bunch of them in, and they're larger, we'll get wet. Not really wet. I mean, you feel a little drop here and there, but it's pretty funny. They're named archer. I keep talking about archers because not just because archery day, but the name archer is actually in the scientific name too, Toxotes joculatus. The Toxotes means, it's Greek for the Sagittarius constellation. The Sagittarius constellation is an archer, so it all came around when they named the fish Toxotes. So the family of archer fish are all in the Toxotes family, or Sagittarius constellation, the archer family. So these guys are called banded because they have, it's not clear bands, but mottled bands along the side of the body. Generally 3 along the body and 1 on the tail. And to show you just how distinctive those bands are, which is to say they're not that distinctive. But I'm going to put in the clouded archerfish in the same tank. These guys have been in separate tanks, but they've both been here for a month. And so the water has been so equalized, they've been so stripped of any parasites, I feel totally safe mixing these guys together. If they were fresh from the wild and they've only been here a week, we wouldn't be doing that. But in this case, it's fine. So they cost of these guys in a pet store, starting at $29. That'd be the low side for a small and a pet store that didn't mark it up too much. And it goes up to about $59. And you can double that when you talk about the gold or Burmese that we're going to be showing you next, archer fish. Online, you can find these sometimes $24.99 plus shipping, but it depends on size. Remember, size is not just how long it takes to grow them out, it's how long it takes to ship these, how expensive it is to ship. Because a bag of these, to ship them safely, if they're 2 inches, you can ship 20 in a bag. If they're 4 inches, you can ship 3 in a bag. So you're paying the same amount. So now you're spreading over 3 fish instead of 20 fish. So you might bring in, anyways, I'm boring you with the economics of bringing in fish, but it gets a lot more expensive as fish get bigger. That's why you see such big price hikes. Every doubling in size is actually a quadruple in price because of that shipping component in the fish trade when you go into the store. So I hope you have a little more appreciation. No one's trying to gouge you because a fish is a little bigger than the other one. That's just the economics of shipping fish around the globe. Now we move to the more expensive, more exotic, clouded Burmese golden archerfish. Just like the common name implies, the Burmese archerfish, it is found in Burma or Myanmar, if we want to be more politically correct. And it is only found in freshwater, unlike the banded archerfish, which you can acclimate to different water conditions. Clouded archerfish, not so much. So you want to keep that pH, if you have pH 7.5, even 7 to 7.7, temperatures in the mid 70s to 80, you're fine with that fish, but it needs to be fresh water. And you see why people seek this fish out over the banded archerfish. Its color pattern is, as far as freshwater fish go, it's very beautiful. It's got almost a leopard pattern around a gold body, and or you could say black clouds, a clouded pattern on a gold body. And so all the common names get all wrapped up in the description. Also, the body shape is a little different than the more common banded archerfish because it's rounder and it has a more distinct flared out anal fin. And I think the producers got some good close-ups on these guys, and you can see the differences between the banded and the archerfish when they're together. When you see them from tank to tank, sometimes it's not so easy because especially when banded archerfish are juveniles, that band it's kind of mottled and is not as distinct. It does get a little more distinct as it gets bigger, but when they're younger, you're not going to confuse them likely in an aquarium setting if you have both of them in there. But people have been known when they buy these online to want the Burmese clouded archerfish, and they're really getting a mottled not very distinctive banded archerfish. And difference in price, the clouded archerfish costs me about 3 times the cost of a banded archerfish. And part of that is because it only comes from one area. It's hard to get stuff from Burma or Myanmar, and actually that's the main reason. It's prolific there. It's not a rare fish. It's not endangered, but it's one of those areas where it's hard to pull wild stock and get it over the United States for us to put in our fish tanks. So appreciate all the work that went into getting this fish into this tank for this show. Cost-wise, the Toxotes, same family name, Blithii, that's a species name. That fish, the clouded archerfish, would probably start at $39 and go up to $89 depending on size. But more likely you'll see it around $50 in pet store for a small one like this, online or in selected aquarium stores. Only a few carry this kind of exotic stuff, and if they do, that's pretty cool store. It means they're willing to handle this fish and know what they're doing, because no one wants to lose money and no one wants to kill fish. So this is why you'll never see these in Petco or PetSmart. So all these, we do fulfillment for aquariumfish.com. So all these fish are obviously, you can find them there. We also sell to a few more select aquarium stores around the US. So I don't want to call any of those out because I'm not 100% sure they have these fish stocked right now. So I know I've shipped them a few, but they've probably sold them through, and then you go to the store and you don't see them and you get mad at me. You can always find them at aquariumfish.com, and just call your local aquarium store and just ask them if they have one. The nice thing is I prefer supporting the retail stores than the online stores. The online stores are terrific. I love aquariumfish.com. They handle and ship their fish very, very well. But I like these mom and pop stores because that's the way I grew up. So if you see fish on this show and your store doesn't have them, the wholesale company here is Southland Aquatics. We'll ship it to them. Just all they have to do is give us a call. They've probably heard of Southland, and we'll get it to them. But I don't want to talk about my wholesale company really, because that's not the purpose of the show. So that aside, I hope you learned a lot about archerfish. And if you did and you appreciate this little show, please like and subscribe. So anyways, happy Archer Day and Martin Luther King Day. If you're in the banking industry or school or in the government, you don't have to work. I'll be working. Everyone else here, everyone in the hobby will be working on Monday. So support your local aquarium store on Monday. And please like and subscribe to the Fish Files. Was that all right?
That's great.
Okay. But there's no point in even going to an aquarium store unless you have an aquarium. Oh wait, there is a point in going to the aquarium store to buy an aquarium, because then you'll have an aquarium.